All right. Yeehaw. I get to say that now because we're in Colorado. Well, I'm in Colorado. I don't know about the rest of you. Gosh, it's been a while. It's been 3 weeks since the last session. Isn't that right? Jeez, obviously I have messed up. Or I've forgotten all of the bizarre ass hotkeys. Radiant. Oh boy. Alright, so what the fuck were we doing last? You don't remember? I don't. Okay. Oh god. Yes, I remember this thing. That awful, awful thing. Stuff, clip textures, filtered, and alright. So, hey, how's everyone doing? I don't think anyone's tuned in yet, that's fine. So yeah, as talked about last time, I have moved, I think like 2/3 of the way across the United States. It's nuts. I was in Boston last time, and now I'm in the Denver, Colorado area. So, hang on, let me close this door, actually. My setup here is a little more ad hoc because I am lacking a certain amount of furniture that I had at my old place. So like previously I had my like desk in front of me, which is like where my laptop and the microphone stuff was a part of, and then or is like situated on, and then I had my second monitor to my right, oh whoops, my second monitor over here, off to my right on this sort of dresser thing. Now I don't have that dresser, so I've just had to quickly compact everything onto my desk, and it's like way more crowded, and I'm feeling a little claustrophobic here. But that's okay. I think, yeah, my voice is definitely way more reverby in this bedroom as well. So my apologies for that. Yeah, I want to get some curtains up soon as well. Not to just help with the reverb, but also just I want blackout curtains, So, yeah, God, what were we doing? There are times where I look back on this level, I'm just like, oy vey, how am I going to make this into a coherent thing, Maybe it would be best. Maybe it'd be best if I replayed this. Or I played it front to back in the first place. Just to get a sense of all the little things that I would need to fix. So let me boot this up real quick. Oh, I forgot to start GitHub. History. Yeah, the 16th was our last session. So yeah. All right. Did we already demap this? I think we did. I'm still going for it. Boy, so I started the new job. It's pretty good. Obviously, I can't talk a lot about it. Oh boy. Okay, so I guess first off, already I'm having problems with this. I think it's interesting, and I guess it's okay, or I understand my thought process of wanting this particular view being what the players greeted with initially. I don't think that in terms of what I want the player to do first, I don't think that necessarily makes sense. Something that also strikes me initially is that especially because, again, I don't have blackout curtains and the sun is glaring a little through the blinds of my room, it's harder to make the darker areas out on the screen. And so I can barely see the window frame there. And so that kind of strikes to me like that's not going to attract the player's attention. I think the player's initially going to, from this angle at least, blow past that. Oh boy. Blow past that, try to use this. It's locked. We'll turn around and they might not know what to do initially. Whereas here they may be greeted with the... or they might be able to pick this out. But again, I am playing in a pretty not ideal circumstance. So first off, I also think that... Well, not first off. I already made a point. I also think that coming from this angle will be more interesting and dramatic, and we can kind of set up a nice environment or a silhouette here. Yeah, and I believe from this angle, we can get a light shining through that window, which is about here in the center of the screen, I believe. Again, I can't see very well. So yeah, work on initial read. So I think I want to move the player start to around where I'm standing right now. Check on initial read. Light in office. Move player start. Something else I'm thinking about now. I know there's still the issue of the key placement. Elephant. Okay, sure. Also, just this light being here and bleeding through from the inside. That's that's obviously an issue that I'm gonna have to fix at some point. I'm not exactly sure how. So, another thing I'm thinking is that there's that issue with the key placement. If you'll recall, I'll just go to this real quick. The key is placed from this angle right here, so that the player can see it, but also so that logically, logically it could still be reached by the guard, as opposed to having it hidden away in the office itself. I think if we hung it like on the far wall, like near where that wall lamp is, that would not necessarily. I'm not sure it would like stick out in the silhouette enough, and I'm not certain that I want the. I'm not certain I want the player to go back there, at least coming from this angle. But I think the other thing that I'm having an issue with is just that, the player getting in here, like, what's the fiction? It's like some person left their office window open, like on the ground floor. And that strikes me as, I don't know, that seems like something a little pushing the boundaries of believability a bit, because I don't think anyone would be that stupid, especially if they're, presumably put in charge of it. Well, actually, there are some stupid business leaders, but so yeah, I don't know. I think it makes a little more sense to have a window from a second story office be the point of entry. Yeah. So yeah, I I don't know. I might want to rethink like having the player come through in the second floor, work their way down to the first floor. That way we can hopefully reposition that office and the key to a place that makes more sense. Not just fictionally, but also from a design standpoint, making sure that they view it from the right angle. Yeah, I might want to redo the interior of this building. So yeah, I guess having some distance here really helps. Enter, enter. Or enter first building through second floor, not the other way around. First building through. Okay. Window and redo building interior. Okay. Anyways, we're gonna play through it as is anyways. So yeah, because getting this front key to go to the second floor, I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. And of course, the hacky nature of this, like the player can grab the key from this angle, but they can't actually see it. Like, I hate that. Oh, God. No wonder they can hear me from outside. What the hell? What's it? R show portal? Or no? R show tries 3, I think.
Did I see something?
Whoops.
Aha! Now I've got you.
And of course, guards not being able to move through doors because I guess I fucked that up. Alright, so assuming that's closed, let's go back out here. Yeah, basically the whole building is active and rendering, so it seems like sound propagation is like going through the whole building. Oh, that's not ideal. So where in the world does that leak? I'm gonna have to fix that. Fix leak from start to building A. All right. Like Jesus. This is crazy. This might be like not great portalization on my part. Like I don't know if like I'm literally like in this space and like the renderer is like rendering the viz portal areas, the viz leaves. like over the building and then coming like back around from the front through like openings or something like that.
Bug it off now.
If I leave the other way, like if I'm on the other side of the building though, and like this back area doesn't render, then that'll be bupkis. That'll be a moot point. And of course, why can't I not? I'm a dingus. Okay, well this is fine. Excuse me. So I got that key. Dude is sitting back down. Let's turn this off. Oh, that is open. Oh, right. Did I place a second guard up here or something? I mean, I don't think so. I can just hear one particularly loudly. Oh, dear God. That might be part of it. I think it's just coming from out there. And yeah, I guess that makes sense. Or if we were to, say, come through the second story first, then, you know, the whole reason the player can't just immediately exit through the front door of this building is because it's locked, and we are doing that basically because we're trying to get the player to actually, like, explore the whole space.
What? Is that something over there?
So, you know, if the player were just able to go through the back of the first floor and then just out the front door, then the second floor would be, like, completely, you know, like an appendix, like, completely unnecessary. And so I think this would also, going through the second floor and then going down to the first to exit,
That something over there?
would not just be better from a fictional standpoint. Oh, come on.
I'm gonna piss on your
Oh,
corpse when we're
boy.
done here.
Could you, like, open or close faster? There must be a speed setting. Office front door key.
Take this. I thought I heard something. Weapons ready, boy. You bastard. Come here and fight me. I'll put my foot up your arse. There bloody well could be an intruder.
No, I wanted you to lock it.
Stuff you've got in corner.
Oh, boy. Clearly I fucked up here. Hey, Nick. How's it going? It's been a while.
Weapons ready, boy. Take this.
Can I mantle over this? I think with...
Come on, you cock-brained whore.
So I guess that experience makes me feel like it's hard to recover from being spotted by a guard. And I think that has to do with like a lot of the very long the really long sightways, sight lines rather. That's the term I'm looking for. So yeah, I don't know. It feels like there's not a lot of bends, turns, nooks, and crannies for the player to duck behind, at least in this part of the map. And perhaps that is something I should spend a lot more time thinking about, and like how I'm going to insert that into these areas.
Thieving cockney's gonna get past me.
God. All right, so we've got the ship running. I forgot. Okay. So let's try to do the whole stop the canal thing.
Something moving?
Oh, whoops. Whew. Successful evasion. Beautiful. Again with the glare, I cannot really tell what state the ship is in from this angle. I think I mentioned it before, but there's like a sewer system that I thought could be cool, like, or like, you know, some just general water drainage system that where like
Something moving? What's moving there? Aha!
Fuck.
Now you're gonna
Fuck,
die
fuck.
now.
I can barely see.
I've got him cornered here. Come out.
let me write down that aspect of like few hiding spaces. Something else that just occurred to me as well. We're not there yet, but this is the area. This is the area where we actually have the sort of central controls.
The bastard if he shows his face again.
We show the controls basically of the canal. The player jams them, and that halts the canal. The thing is that for us to basically wait for the ship to get into position across from the drawbridge here at building B, if I get there really fast, I'm probably going to have to wait for like minutes at a time for it to get into position. And that is not ideal. So I'm wondering if we can either A, have things that are maybe we can have like some other way of boarding the ship on the lock prior. Because I think most of the time the ship is going to be hanging around like in position, in a central position in one of these locks, basically. Oh dear, what happened there? Hopefully that was something outside of the game. Yeah, so basically it'll, for the most part, just be sitting at a particular lock and basically raising or lowering because of the drainage. And then I think the transitions between the locks are not terribly long. I mean, I think they're like 2 minutes, but compared to like 8 minutes of waiting for something, I don't think that's bad. Yeah, because this transition is pretty quick compared to like the raising and lowering of the water levels. So I think if we just have like something in position at each lock for the player to potentially use as a means of boarding, that will largely solve the problem. Of just waiting around. I mean, there's still going to be some like waiting for it to go into position, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. Maybe we could also move. That might not be a good idea, but maybe if we could like mark this space with the operator, the controls to operate, with some sort of higher structure, like a tower or something. Because I think that would make a little more sense than the weird, rinky-dink, like anemic second floor that we have going on in the current layout already. Yeah, let me write this shit down. To board ship at each lock. To long waits. That's one sticky note. And the other was, what did I just say? Higher structure slash tower for canal controls. The reason I don't think that's a good idea necessarily is because that also raises concerns about visibility. I mean, to be fair, I think from this angle, like a huge chunk of, I think basically the whole second floor of this like annex of the building is visible. But I think if we like raised it up like one more floor and had it be its own sort of like lighthouse stub sort of thing, then it'd be like a smaller area that was visible. Yeah, I think that might be better. Actually, let me... Yeah, actually the whole damn interior, which is not great. Yeah, basically. Yeah, like even the walkway in here. Like it's weird. I don't think there's the two vats there, but I don't think those are visible from this angle, and yet like this stuff is like this half of the room. It was weird. Shit's weird. I don't know where this guard went, but he has the key that I need to steal. I should also start thinking about which doors. Oh, of course. Standing around like a dunce waiting for me to... I should start thinking about like which doors are pickable. Because I think generally having doors that are either more exposed or open up paths that are more circuitous compared to other doors should be the ones that the player can pick. Whereas I think if you are going to get up close to a guard and pickpocket a key and open that door, that is a higher amount of risk that you are taking. And so I think that, those, for doors that you have to steal a key to unlock, I think those should open shorter paths generally. Because you've already taken that risk, and it's sort of a reward of like you get to bypass a certain amount of geometry. At least that's sort of me thinking out loud. So yeah, like this front door definitely need a key. I think the door that I've placed there, like around the corner to the right there, that should be something that's pickable, for instance. And then I think there's like another one back behind the building. That I would also make pickable. And I should do that. Is he still there? I can't tell. It's great. Flying blind. Oh. He's facing the wall? Okay.
Was that...
Come on.
I'm gonna stuff your nose that field, you cockwit, bloody coward.
Did you accidentally get down there? Jesus. It's also been a while since I've been on the damn ship, you know? Yes, that's filling up. Facing away? Are they facing towards or away? I can't tell.
What a bugger.
I think that's away. Hopefully they don't see me. I should put railings here. I almost walked off that thing.
I hate this shift.
This also seems too steep for a slope to push cargo.
Aha! Now I've got
And
you.
what in the world is happening here? Oy vey.
Take this.
There's a ladder here, right? Yes.
You bastard. Come here and fight me.
Ah, cool. Clearly, I fucked up some portalization stuff somewhere. Oh,
This ends now.
come on. Ah.
That's the end of that bastard.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what did we learn? shit is hard. It's probably harder than it needs to be. Again, I think because the environment is so threadbare right now. I don't know. I didn't put in a lot of consideration of like hiding spaces. Yeah, that's sort of the thing. I think I was concerned a lot with like an environment for the player to pass through the first time that they could theoretically sneak through. That I didn't consider sort of the second function of the environment, which is like, okay, well, if the player fails, where do they go? I sure didn't think of that. God. But hey, this is why we do this, you know? There's a lot of leaks here. Okay, so actually, let me think. Building a lobby. Building a second floor. Doorway, and then building the back entry. Okay. So first off, yeah, that would do it. That's a basic one. Where's our decorated wood? There we go. Easy peasy. Second, oh. You think that would do it? The portal doesn't even extend all the way. Oy, that's how bad this is. Yeah, so I'm gonna move this in. And if so I want to bring this down to meet this part, but that would mean that this would start poking out here, and I don't necessarily want this to I don't necessarily want to add another brush, but I don't know. That might be how I have to do it. Yeah, I'll just deal with that. Okay, so there's that issue. Second floor doorway. Second floorway, if you will. No draw. Okay. What is going on here then? I think it has something to do with this portal. If I bring that back. Maybe it's because these two brushes are touching. I will. I'm gonna stick this into the wall a bit. Pull this back. So hopefully okay, so that's flush. And these two brushes, well, they're touching, but it's like the no draw surfaces are the ones that are touching now. I can make this thinner, and now they shouldn't be touching at all. No, they are. Whoops. Okay. Now they definitely aren't. That's good. There's no weird portalness over here. This is not weirdly a funk detail for some reason. No, good. All right. Let's demap that, and I'll use the restroom and be right back. Okay. All right, so I just want to check on those rendering issues. Oh, whoops. Yep, can't see anything. Where am I? Oh. Oh. Yep, looks good. And sorry, I'm having a little too much fun. Yeah. Yeah, that was probably it. That's good. Okay. So I think now initially I want to start looking at those leaks. Because certainly that the fact that like sound is propagating in ways that it can't, or rather there are areas that are rendering that shouldn't be from certain angles, and therefore sound can propagate through them, certainly makes this more difficult of a level. So, our show tries. No, that didn't help. Okay. Whoops. Oh, right. Because I did not get a chance to look at this from the other side.
Smells like pig filth in here.
No, whole thing's basically rendering still. Delightful. Yeah, the back alley is rendering as well. So I gotta figure out what the hell's going on here. Okay, so all right. So building the back entry. Yes, I took care of that. So if you've tuned in before, you have likely encountered me having to deal with leaks. In a BSP-based map, leaks are, basically areas where, the interior of the level basically goes out into the exterior of the level, which is basically a void. People use the analogy of thinking that you're building a submarine or a spaceship, the level itself needs to be airtight. And you can't have any holes going out to the exterior. And so, well, actually, let me do this first, because I wanted to move the player for quite some time. No. That'll be the start. Maybe a little further back. And then there's no lights in this part of the building, I think, so I should be fine. To add one. Well, actually, I don't know. This might be a moot point because I think I don't want the player coming in through that window anymore. So, yeah, forget it. And then we'll, have a window like this or over there on the second floor, and we'll have some sort of, climbing puzzle, basically, to help the player figure out how the hell to get up there. Yeah. Okay. So actually, I shouldn't have moved that there, because I'm basically just going to undo this. What we're going to do actually is instead do an internal leak test. So basically, like I was saying, normal leaks or external leaks sometimes are, pardon me, leaks that go out from the interior to the exterior of the level, and the level just will not run. In the case of IdTech 4, if it finds any of those, and those we have been locating and resolving through the point file, because whenever there's an external leak like that, it generates the engine itself generates a certain number of, yes, could not find the point file because one doesn't exist right now. Yeah, so it'll generate a point file which points you to the location of the leak, basically. Internal leaks basically describe parts of the interior of the level that you can see from either area or either point when you shouldn't be able to. This ended up being a huge issue with the last map I made in the Dark mod. I found out a way of detecting internal leaks by reading like the Dark mod wiki, and it ended up being really good, and we're about to do that here. But basically, there was a part inside of a building that was rendering from the outside of the building, and then vice versa. And I found that internal leak, and I solved it, and my map jumped up like 10 frames a second, basically, like all around the map. And I was like, oh, holy shit, that's a huge thing. We don't seem to be having performance problems, at least on this hardware. But, this is still something that I want to resolve, especially because, guards are hearing the player when they shouldn't be from certain areas. And again, that makes it more difficult. So basically, I've moved the player start into this building. Because the rendering process actually starts from the player start. It makes perfect sense. So all the visibility is calculated based on like where the player is going to enter the map from. So what we're gonna do instead is we are deliberately going to create an external leak because the renderer can tell us explicitly when and where that happens, but it can't tell us about interior leaks. So basically, we're going to make our interior leaks our exterior leaks, So deliberately going to create this leak. Actually, now that I think about it, I think all the entities here will then exist in the void, so maybe that's not the best way to do this. Okay, actually, instead what we're going to do, we're going to invert this, basically. Except there's... God damn it. I think they recommended for this process you just like make a copy of the map and you basically tear it up. Where's my... Yeah, okay. Basically, I'm gonna rename this like leak test. Let's say building A. Now we're in that new map. So we can just tear this up however we need to. So this is going to be pretty drastic. I'm going to move the player start in here. We're going to make this not a viz portal. And same with this. And now we have Again, we're going to create a deliberate leak. Actually, gonna basically select all of building A here. I'm gonna make a copy of this whole ass thing. Instead of having the leak here, we'll have the leak in the sort of duplicate. What is this doing? Oh, I think it was part of the copy. Basically, I'm going to delete all of these things on the exterior, which now aren't too many things, which is good. This. Remove those. Can remove these doors as well. And I think because it's a func static, we have to get rid of this. Yep. So basically we're just going to have this contained within its own box. This box is actually going to have its own leak intentionally. And that way, if the interior of the building is airtight, it shouldn't matter. But if it isn't, that interior leak becomes an exterior leak. And we should be able to find it. Hey there. Okay. And what in the world is that? Okay, so let's just treat this like our intentional leak, basically. go. Oh, jeez. Alright, I should talk a little bit about personal stuff, huh? So, moved into the apartment here. It's okay. It started out not being great. There was a roach problem, which, I don't know, that's the first time I've had to deal with roaches, and it took me a while to recognize that they were roaches, because I guess I thought that they were like, you know, all roaches were like giant 4-inch long ones, like the Madagascan hissing ones, you know, because I had seen those, but in, you know, like animal exhibits, but I had never seen ones that were only like an inch or an inch and a half long, and so I just thought there was some weird beetle initially. Get rid of that. And these are still world spawn, right? That's good. Okay. So yeah, I had the exterminator come and everything, and my landlord just sealed up some of the gaps between like the tile and the cabinet from their new renovation and all that. That was done before I moved in. So that's been a source of stress over the past week and a half. But, you know, things seem to be doing okay now. So, all right. So, again, here's how this is going to work. It's going to start calculating visibility from the player start. And if this building is airtight, then it shouldn't trace over here and create a leak, because all this geo outside of the building won't matter if it has no way of getting out. And if it does have a way of getting out, then we'll know exactly where that's happening, and we can fix that. So here goes leak test building A. I'm writing that down. App level streaming canal. Oh, whoops. Of course, I went map, not DMAP. I'm a dingus. Yeah. As I said on Twitter as well, I should have announced this on YouTube rather. I don't have a channel page on Facebook. Yep. See, there we go. But as I announced, I first moved into this place, and there was no cable outlet, which was weird. So I literally didn't have a way to get internet and do streaming, so that's why this was delayed for another week. Point file. Oh, whoops. So the thing is, leaks can happen not just through openings in the environment, but also having the origin point of entities in the void as well. So that's why I was like deleting all the stairs around here as well, and the lights out front and the trigger. Yeah. So, false start. Let's do that again. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so what was it? I also found that I also found a oh my god. That. Oh, Jesus. That tiny ass thing is why the whole interior of the building is rendering. Oh, jeez. Let me first get a screenshot of that, basically. I'll keep that over here. Then I gotta think about how to fill this, because this is a weird angle. I don't know, pull this up and then deal with... oh, whoops. Pull this up and deal with the Z fighting later. That's probably the best thing to do. Okay, so let's try that again. So yeah, there's a little, cable outlet, and there was like this weird cable hanging in a closet next to my living room now, and yeah, as it turns out, that was the coax cable I needed. Oh, whoops. I forgot a couple things. These I'm not too worried about, I'm kind of amazed these didn't get detected first. All right. Yeah, and so the cable guy came and he was just like, I could just attach this, fastener on this like loose cable dangling in your apartment. So that was good. Boy, more leaks. File, point file. And where are we coming out of now? Oh, here, huh? Yeah, that would do it, huh? Why? Is this funk static or something? Or is this what's going on here? Oh, jeez. You see this? This tiny ass gap as well. This gap that is like what, a half a unit? Something insane like that. And yeah, I don't know how this got deformed. And I think it's also in a place where like no one's gonna see it, right? Well, maybe. Nah. People won't see the Z fighting there. So that's good. Let's demap again. Basically, we're going to do this until leaks stop happening. Let me write these down, actually. Window in. Slanted roof. And now, where do we have this leak? Oh gosh. This tiny asshole. Oh my god. Wow. Okay. And again, this is by like a single unit. This is just nuts. Slanted roof. Meeting room. Slanted wall. And looks like that might have been it. Yep, looks good. Okay, so I think now that we have those listed down, we can go back into the actual map and basically apply those fixes. Okay, so first was here. Actually, I'm wondering if this like wedge is the issue, or this being no draw is the actual source of the problem. Because I'm not sure you can actually see. Oh no, you can't. Never mind. There's that tiny gap there. Yeah, so let's take this guy, raise it up by 2 units. That'll solve that leak. Then it was this guy over here. And we're going to take this. I want to do this a little more precisely. So it'll be half a unit. And I think that's gonna fix it. I probably should have tested that in the leak map. Then believe it was this guy. It was yes, this one. Okay. And then we're just going to move this out by a single unit. And now the map will render 120 frames a second consistently. No, but it should be much improved in terms of what is rendering from the inside or the outside of the building. Let's jump into the map. And if we go our show tries 3. Okay, clearly there are things still interior. Or actually, no, I think it's just showing the shell of the building here. But in terms of like the guard being in there, the guard patrolling on the second floor, that's not showing. Those front stairs are, though, or the stairs going to the front door, and I don't know why. I think they might be poking through one of the vis leaves into the other. That might be why. But it does look to be quite the improvement, which certainly helps. So, think also, I think another thing I want to figure out is like, because clearly like the main area of the canal is rendering right now, and I don't know how to block this off really. Because like I would not want the front area here to render. So if I go inside, yep, this is real good, real good. In here, close this. Yep, this is basically what we would expect to see. I'm gonna no clip. So from this angle, I would expect to... Well, actually, no, because I think there's supposed to be a Viz portal at the top of the stairs here going horizontal. Show portals 1. Yeah, so either I didn't place one there or it's not rendering or it's not sealing properly, so that it would prevent stuff on the second floor here from being rendered. The fact that that internal office there has a portal that's open is concerning, especially from this angle. Like, my main thing is, like, I should not be seeing the interior of that meeting room, you know? I can't even tell.
What that is?
Don't look at me.
Bloody eyes are playing tricks on me. What's that?
So I'm not sure I actually put portals on the 2 offices here. And that might be part of why. But yeah, the fact that, you know...
I hate it.
Did I put a portal there on the double doors too, or no?
What that is?
Alright, well... Time to investigate then. I have a feeling I shouldn't worry about this until I have a more finalized layout, you know. Okay. So first off, I'm not sure this was working. I don't recall. So yeah, it looks like I don't have a portal there. Fair enough. I did put them on these doors though, so clearly something is not working. And I do have one here. So I guess time to investigate further. So looks to me like it's a lot of issues out in the hall here. Could put this guy here. We still have our external leak here. So I will make this. I'll make all the portals here. Into not portals, basically. Then we're going to create a leak in the stairwell here. Delete that. Delete these. Delete all this. Come on. There we go. Delete all that, and we should be good to test. And indeed, we have a leak. Ah, whoops. Not what I meant to do. File, point file. Oh boy. That's why. This gap right here. Creating oddly shaped buildings, I am quickly learning, creates very insidious problems. And we got another leak. Where at? Oh, wow. It looks like this passes like through both of these areas, which is interesting. So that might resolve the leak issue. I think we killed two birds with one stone. Get a side view of this. Not that view. There's also a top-down view that's not helpful. see. Wow. And this is like 2 units. Boy. Yeah, basically. And I think this was also a problem here. Gosh, sure was. All right. All right, all right. Okay, so that solves those issues. So now big obvious leak here, and this is sealed off, so hopefully I'm betting it's something up here. Just seeing the pattern of errors that we've had so far. But yeah. Point file. Yep. Beautiful. Okay. Oh dear. Okay, let's do this again. I imagine we're going to be doing a lot of this again, especially towards the end. Whenever the hell that's going to happen. I don't need... No. Cancel. Because I don't need that old photo anymore. Where's Dalik? Dalik. Oh. Just all the entities in here. All the props, basically. Any lights in here? Funk statics? I don't think so. So hopefully this will actually just be it. Okay, nice. Alright, so go back to the original. Yes, I believe it was these interiors. It just gotta raise this like 2 units. Is this guy 2 units? And then raise this thingy a few units. That should be good. Now we should get proper portalization here, ideally. Okay. No clip on. Our show tries 3. Yeah, again, this is about what we saw last time. I think those stairs are visible, like in the 2nd floor hallway, which is interesting. Don't know why. Oh, did I literally just walk into that? That was bizarre. Wow, okay. Didn't expect that. This is really good. This is still really good. It's exactly what we expect.
Smells like pig filth in here.
Filth. Sorry. Being a goon. And now, yes. Yes, look at this. Perfect. So offices there aren't an issue. This office here isn't an issue.
I hate this shift.
Okay. Interesting. Why would the stairs be rendering from in here? Does this, like, get way too close to the Viz leaf? That might be it. I'm not too worried about that. Alright, I have no target on. These funk statics rendering here, it's weird. But I'm not going to sweat it too much because this is certainly an improvement. Yep, looks good. So let's restart the mission, and I will try to play through it again without all these goddamn tries. Oh, whoops. All right. Sorry, quite a bit of this session has been like a lot of rote technical stuff. So go over here. The thing that also bothers me here is that it's not terribly clear what area is safe and what isn't. I think I might want to fake stuff with like a projected light coming out of here. Just to basically show a box that's like, hey.
Son of a whore better have my money.
Right. Here we are. Oh, whoops.
Smells like pig filth in here.
I can still see. Oh, right, because I think that that was one of the funk statics I was still rendering outside, right? So I bet you. Yeah, I think the guard passed, and we should have seen him overlapping on the rug there, but that didn't happen. So yeah. Also, yeah, the fiction of this, like, why is the front, the key to the building's front door, like, up on the second floor? Like, that doesn't make sense. Okay. All right. Now we're off.
That's some. There you are.
Shit, I thought that would have worked. Maybe I could narrow his FOV.
I've got him cornered here.
Oh, yeah, I should figure out a way to get them to be able to path. On the lock bridges. Hang on. I think I maybe heard a knock at my door. Let me check that real quick. Oh no, I was wrong. Sounds like the guy next door is moving stuff. Hey, how's it going? Oh right. Which doors are pickable? Let me write down. Add pathing for challenges. And that'll have to be a toggle, I believe, so that they won't walk on these. Yeah, so that they won't walk on these while they're open. Quick saving versus checkpoints. Boy. Uh-oh. He's got the key, right? I think quick saving versus checkpoints, that, I don't know. That depends, I think, on, what you're trying to go for the experience in the game. If you want the player to experiment a ton.
Did I see something?
No, you didn't. Let me have that key.
Damn, I thought I heard something. What was that?
Come on.
This ends now. You're gonna die now.
Oh boy.
I've got him cornered here.
So as I was saying, I think that depends on the type of experience you want your game to be.
Come on, you cockbrains.
Quick saves are, again, good for games that try to encourage a lot of experimentation, and committing to a particular choice is not something that you want your game to emphasize. In terms of,
Full of your own filth.
would you shut up?
It's got to be around here.
In terms of checkpoints, that is definitely better for, I would argue like a game like Thief might benefit from checkpoints, although things are certainly harder to deliberately place, especially with like more open levels like Thief has. Because there's the issue of like players treading back and forth multiple times through the same area, and so that becomes a question of like, okay, well, do we want the player to like have a save created for them every time they hit this trigger in this particular hallway, or is there like a cooldown timer, like we let the player do that like once every 2 minutes or something like that. That also creates the question of like, what if a guard is chasing me through a quick save trigger, and my quick save basically has me like 5 feet from a hostile enemy? Like, what happens then? And I think with checkpoints, you also probably need to more explicitly communicate. Well, not explicitly communicate, but I think it needs to be a little more implicit that like once you hit a certain area that where a quick save is located, that this should communicate to the player like, okay, this is a particular space where it's okay to stop my play session if I want to. I don't know how you do that subtly, but I think certainly like there are more explicit areas, like places like Resident Evil 2 remake. There's the safe rooms, Alien Isolation. There's those card punch thingies. So yeah, it can be explicitly communicated, I suppose. But basically trying to make sure that the player is in a space where they can basically like restart and resume their game without hassle is a good idea. Saves coming kills thief. GMDX has checkpoints you can walk into. Oh. Any cool games that mess around with time and saving that I like? Well, Pathologic 2, certainly. I'm going to bring that up like every goddamn session. The way Pathologic 2 encourages players to play through their failures, even though, they get this recurring punishment. Why do you keep ending up down here? There might not be a a monster clip thing here.
What's that?
Finally! Oh my god! I had to cheese this guy to do it. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Aha! Now I've got you.
No, he's pathing up there just fine. Or maybe not. Yeah, Pathologic 2 is good. I haven't played Wrath yet. It's like the newer shooter that 3D Realms has put out. But I know that that's a place where like your respawn point is something that you like explicitly place, which is really interesting. And like you place it as sort of a strategic thing that you can use to sort of help you pull off certain maneuvers, I believe, which is pretty neat. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I definitely want to get around to playing that soon. Then again, there's tons of games I still gotta play. Just oh yeah, I've been playing Disco Elysium a lot recently. It's pretty great. Hammer guy. Praise automatic save system. I don't think I had any strong opinions on that. I think it worked for what it was trying to do.
Damn. I thought I heard something.
Ah, shit. Hello again, DeRosso. Yeah, you mentioned GMDX. I'm like, oh, that must be them.
What was that noise?
I actually feel pretty good about the design of this room now. I'm really happy with this, actually. Because I didn't really intend it, but the space underneath that ramp here is a great place to sort of hide and maneuver around the guards. Plus, it's got a sort of spiral thing going on. It actually uses all 3 dimensions. I really dig it. I can be happy with my work. Rebalancing tweak. Yeah, I downloaded that, and I don't think I ever. Oh no. Oh no. The hole's too small for me to fit through. I gotta fix that. Let me write that down. Well, actually, let me get to a safe area and then I'll write it down. So yeah, I think the only thing that was about Prey. Oh yeah, Prey had a lot of persistent stuff going on. Like you could freeze bits of stuff in like the glue from the glue gun, and then what's it, like the glue splots that you placed would like remain there. So actually, no, I take back what I said. The Prey save system is good, although that's less about the act of the player saving and more what information is stored in it. What did fix stir clip behind C and what's it, ladder hole in building C too small. All right. So yeah, I think Prey, as well as I was playing some Dishonored 2 around the time that we were scrambling after shipping Underworld Ascendant to make it not horrible. Where I was working directly with Matt Davey. Yep, this applies to both of them. Great. Or basically, I was working directly with Matt Davey on the save system, and like for the first post-launch update, and trying to get like the quick save like actually working. There were a couple of ideas that I noticed with like Dishonored 2 specifically, where I was like, oh, we need to make sure that we can save like this. Like one of the things is that I saved my game in Dishonored 2 while I was holding one of those whale oil tanks, and I didn't even think about it, and then like I restarted the game like the next day, and there I was holding a whale oil tank, and I was just like, oh my god. I didn't think that, that would retain that state, but it did. And so I pushed for Matt to add that to the Underworld Ascendant quick saves. Yeah, so those ladder holes won't let me get up to the place to jam the controls. So basically that's not quite a blocker, but basically a blocker. I'm treating it as such. Inventory is a big part of saving. Absolutely. Well, in this case, it wasn't inventory, although inventory is definitely a big part of saving. It was literally the thing that you were carrying, like the thing that you had in front of you that you were just sort of manipulating and dragging around the environment. Yeah, how large is... Okay, and this is just way too small. Way too narrow. Gonna widen this out a bit. Okay, hopefully that's better. Yeah. I'll retest that, but yeah, that seems good. Let me unfilter. Yep, sure as shit. No monster clip. We've been conditioned to expect otherwise, so when stuff like this makes sense and should be the norm occurs, we kind of feel, well, amazed by it. Oh, definitely. Well, I'm not sure that would necessarily be the norm, per se. Like, you know, I don't think Mario, for example, benefits from being able to save, like, mid level and be able to basically reconstruct the exact state the player was the moment that they hit save. Like, it's perfectly fine just letting the ends of levels be the checkpoint. I guess that's also another thing. It's like, if there's like sort of a logical segmentation in content, like the end of a level, for instance, then that would be a good point to autosave. Or maybe in an RPG, like I think Disco Elysium does this, although like Disco Elysium has autosaves. I don't know exactly when or why they're triggered, but I do think that it seems to me like there's this tendency of like autosaving like just as you accept a particular task in the game. And to me that feels like a logical, natural place to like instantiate an autosave or a checkpoint, you know? Speaking strictly about... Yeah, okay. That's fair. I know Into the Breach deliberately allows for save scumming or something like that. Or it's like you restart missions and you basically get to save a unit to redo it. And I think that's interesting. I just haven't played Into the Breach, so I don't really have terribly strong opinions, I think. Fix the monster clip on in building C. Ladder holes. Let's make a couple of these pickable. Oh, I also think just generally picking the key off of this guy is just, I think, not. I think it's too difficult at this point. Again, I think this has to do with the long. Let me filter this. Let me filter the. Sorry. Let me. I think the long sight lines here are just way too much of an issue, as well as this being like consistently stone textures that the player's walking on. Memorize enemy movements. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thoughts on Hitman? I really need to play. Yeah, the Hitman. What was that one? 2016? And then Hitman 2, the one after it. I gotta play both of those. And I've needed to for quite some time. Yeah, from what I see, they look like immersive sims. Maybe not in name, but certainly in attitude. And I'm really keen on pardon. I'm really keen on trying them out. Blood money. Okay. New Hitman. Is that related to New Doom? Alright. I don't even know what to do anymore. What am I doing here? Indeed. Oh yes, fix leak from start point into building A. I sure took care of that. Have the player enter the first building to the second floor window. Yeah, I want to redo building A to accommodate that, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to start that today, because that's going to be a whole ass thing. That's going to be like a session or a session and a half, and I've got like 25 minutes left. Add pathing for lock bridges. Yeah, might be okay. I think letting NPCs walk across these things is going to open a whole can of worms. Like, you know, if they're just kind of hanging out, like, what are they doing, really? Like, do they, you know, it's like, you know, are they like waiting around during that time? I mean, they probably are. And if they're doing that, then, you know, how do we sort of have them do something that sort of communicates that they're just sort of waiting, and once this closes again, so that they can get like was it so that they can resume their prior path. You know, how do they get fed that information back again? That might involve some scripting. Oh boy. But I think I want to do this anyways, so fuck it. Textures, I know there is a it's like an AAS toggle or something. The original Ultimate Underworld, you had to use game item, a silver sapling to save. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I've heard similar things. If you haven't watched my friend Lamb Hoot's video on Metal Gear Solid 5, like, you really should. It's fantastic. I think Dark Mod, maybe. What am I doing here? Other? No. Common. SMF? No. Washroom, water source? No. What am I looking for? Oh, editor? Yes. Oh, AAS obstacle. There we go. AAS solid brushes. Oh, nice, nice. Well, good. Oh, interesting. That's just showing up as monster clip. I'm uncertain if you can post links if you're not a mod. So sorry about that. There we go. Something like that. Pardon me. Create entity. Then I think, yeah, AI. AAS flood. Internal, no. Lights, liquid removable paths. Info, maybe. Portal-based portal settings. Funk AAS obstacle. There we go. Toggles on or off when triggered. Okay. So let's get that. Let's make a copy. It's about the same slope. Yay. It's a little higher than the actual surface there, but whatever. At least in the middle. Oh yeah, so for items, getting quick saves. I forget. In Resident Evil 2, there's a thing with ink ribbons, right? Or is that Silent Hill? This thing is actual. Beep, boop. Yeah, okay. Tab into here. Move edges. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yes. Okay. Right, because I think in, if I recall correctly, in Silent Hill, they only give you basically like a tracker of how many times you've saved. And as far as I know, they don't do anything with it, but you know. Alright, so I'm gonna lead one of these guys across the AAS obstacle. Meep. Meep, meep, meep. me be targeted. Hey, nerd.
That I'm gonna stuff your mouth full of your own filth. You bastard, come here and fight me.
Is it not on?
I've got him cornered here.
Mm-hmm. Can this be used as like a walkable surface or not? I don't know. Let me look this up. Interesting. So there's a spawn arg for start on. Start on. In this case, I want it to be 1. Add that. And add this. If I can't actually generate like floors with this, I think what I'll do instead is I can just create a monster clip like I did with these stairs and like put that on the lock itself and then put the AAS obstacles at the entries here basically. So hopefully that'll basically work identically to what I'm trying to do here. Yes, I should pull this up. All right, see you, Peter. Yeah. T. Hey, nerd. Nerd.
What was that? Haha! Now I've got you. I've got him cornered here. I've got him cornered here.
Oof. All right. That appears to not be working. So instead, what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to move this over. Yeah, basically I'm doing what I said I would, which is making this like a tiny wall. Hello, I would like to... Oh. Ah, there we are. No. Okay, that's odd. Oh, I see. It basically looks flat. Actually, you know what? No, I'm just going to redo this. Move this over here, basically. Probably widen this a little. So that the AI doesn't get ideas of moving around. Whoops. $128 units tall. That's probably good. And create func AAS obstacle with it. Good stuff. Although this should be on the bridge itself, I think. And then from this view, we're basically just going to create a monster clip. There we go. Already got the texture selected and everything. It's beautiful. Oh, does it? Neat. Cool. So I'm going to delete this over here and basically replicate this setup. Oh, this also raises the question, what if the canal starts opening while the AI is on it? Ooh, that is a good question to answer some other day. That's probably something I got to figure out at some point. Whoops. And whoops. Yeah, it's not much higher than the lip. That's good. Oh, right. And okay, so that's set up. And just because I'm curious, I want to see if wait, what happened to I thought I copied that one. Jesus. All right. All right. Let me bring that up. Just because I'm curious, I want to test whether or not they can walk on this by default, which would tell me that these start off by default, or maybe they just flat out don't work in dark mod. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
This ends now.
Well, that was something. Oh, boy. So they might start off. Let me just test this real quick. And then I think after that we'll be done for the day. Not tab. Oh my god. My fingers are failing me. nerd.
This ends now. Bloody coward. I'll put my foot up your ass.
Okay. Hey. Looks like it's working. Good stuff. So yeah, it looks like it's off by default, and then you have to turn it on either through that spawn arg or through a script. So yeah. That's another one down. Although, again, this requires a lot of support in terms of, again, getting this hooked up to scripting so that, like, during the locks opening and closing, the the AI doesn't walk onto the thing that's already open, or in more accurately doesn't like walk into thin air as these things are rotated, Wile E. Coyote style. Maybe some monster clip railings would help as well to prevent them like running off the sides. That's a good idea. Or some actual physical railings. Make this look more like an actual usable bridge. Yeah. Well, I think that's it for now. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you for your patience in terms of the long hiatus. I'm back, baby. I'm back. Sorry, my friends are obsessed with that Joey's World Tour. All right, thanks guys. Bye.